All right, we're going to continue our focus on Minnesota. One of the House seats that Republicans feel very optimistic about is the state's 7th congressional district. Democrat Collin Peterson has represented the rural district in the western part of the state since 1991. But check this out. This is the key part about this. Trump won the district by 30 points in 2016. It is considered the second most Republican-leaning district in the entire country that is currently represented by a Democrat. Peterson is being challenged by the former Lieutenant Governor, Michelle Fischbach, in a race that is considered at best a toss-up. Michelle joins us now. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you so much. Excited to be with you today.
Well, I noticed, I want to note this when I noted with your chairman, but Collin Peterson was also invited, but he was unable to join us today. He's welcome on the show anytime to talk to us about his race. But, you know, tell me, this is a really interesting thing because you rarely see something like this where you've got a district that was carried so heavily, 30 points, by Republican President Trump, and yet is represented by Democrat Collin Peterson since, as I noted, 1991. What do you think is different this time? Because I know he's been challenged in the past.
So this time we've got a credible candidate. We needed a strong, credible candidate in this seat, and we have put together the kind of organization that needs to happen in the 7th District in order to defeat Collin Peterson. The message we're bringing to the voters is that Collin Peterson is not a conservative, and he votes with Nancy Pelosi 80% of the time, but that he goes home to the district and says that he's a great conservative and challenges Nancy Pelosi all the time. But 80% voting with Nancy Pelosi does not make you a conservative.
Michelle, like Sean mentioned, because the president won your district by such a large margin, are you trying to tether yourself to him in any way, or how are you trying to capitalize on that?
We are very proud to be endorsed by President Trump. And we are working with the Trump Victory offices and the Trump Victory campaign in our district, and working very hard to both up President Trump's numbers in the district and win that district away from Collin Peterson so that we can fire Nancy Pelosi.
You know, Michelle, the interesting thing is COVID has really changed the way we're politicking right now, right? You've done this before. You go out, you shake hands, you kiss babies, you show up at parades, all that kind of stuff. But COVID has taken that away, right? And it's made things different. Now, you were elected statewide as lieutenant governor, so that has helped a lot with probably your name ID and your familiarization with a lot of these groups. But how has that been a challenge for you as a challenger to an incumbent when, you know, basically part of the job right now is to really get out there and press the flesh, if you will, and make the case?
Well, you know, things are opening back up a bit in Minnesota, and so we are back on the road. And we did spend a lot of the COVID shutdown time on the phone, making phone calls, talking to people that way, and continuing to reach out to the voters that way. But like I said, now things are opening back up. So we're going across the district, and I will tell you, we are having great turnouts at various events. We had a meet and greet, and we had over 50 people there. We had a Trump Victory office opening, and we had over 50 people there. People are excited to get this campaign underway and to win for the president this year.
You know, it's interesting. This is silly because you've been involved in politics. Money is always a big issue. How much of an issue is it in your campaign? Because I imagine that Peterson is just going to go out there and try to flood the zone and say, as you mentioned, that he's the conservative and, you know, he's a different guy when he's back home in Minnesota than he is in Washington. How important right now is the fundraising for you guys?
Well, it is absolutely critical. It's always important, very, very important to have the money. And that is one of the things that the campaigns in the past in the 7th District have lacked, is that ability to raise funds. And so we are working very, very hard. We are up at just over $800,000 already raised for our campaign. I know there are outside groups that are going to be helping us out. We're full young guns, so I'm excited about that with the NRCC and Targeted and their help too. But it is absolutely important because we need to raise the money in order to make sure that we can get that message out, because it's an important message to make sure that people understand that Collin's no conservative.
All right. Michelle, best of luck out on the campaign trail. Hope to have you back and get a inside preview as to where you are as we get closer to Election Day.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we are going to fire Nancy Pelosi this fall.
All right. Looking forward to it.
All right, as we discussed earlier in the show, conservatives scored a big win with a Supreme Court ruling on school choice. We're going to dig a little deeper into the upcoming SCOTUS rulings with legal affairs reporter Alex Sawyer next.